I'm not gonna do it. All right, you guys, we got another episode of Reclaiming Lives Recovery Cafe Facebook Live. This is seriously like our 37th or 38th one. We couldn't do it without you viewers. We got a lot of good feedback. Everything we've been doing and trying to do and continuing to do has been for positive, and the message has been getting out there that all we want to do is help, and we want to be a part of the solution. Here at the cafe, I have a circle leader, a member, a person of the community, the recovery community with me today. His name's Stephen J. We're going to chop it up with him a little bit and talk a little bit about where he got into his recovery, what his story looks like. I'm not sure what the questions are going to look like, but I'm Brandon Orr. I'm coming to you live from the Reclaiming Lives Recovery Cafe office, my office, yo. And we're going to chop it up with Stephen J for a little bit. So what's up, Stephen J? How you doing, brother?
Good. Hello, everybody.
Stephen J is not only, like I said, a member of the recovery community. When I first got out of prison, I remember seeing him in the rooms. And then, you know, when I started doing my recovery more around my faith, and I wanted to find something that better fit me. Because not every road to recovery is for everybody. And I found the Recovery Cafe, and Stephen J was here, and I was like, whoa, bro, like, what brought you to want to be a part of the Reclaiming Lives Recovery Cafe?
Well, I was in the federal reentry court deal, and I heard about the Recovery Cafe there, and then somebody else was talking about it. It was Justin Hahn was talking about it, and then I got real excited about it, and I just waited for it to open, and then when it opened up, I was here.
And you really haven't missed a night unless you were working.
Yeah,
you know, even if it's just to drop in. What was it like when you first seen the cafe open? Like when you first started opening it and you seen it grow, what was your feelings, and you know, how did you take that the first time?
You know,
did you know it was for you?
For me, it was a little uncomfortable because it wasn't a place normally I would go.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was I don't know, it was just not a place I would hang out. You know, typically I'd hang out in a strip joint.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
yeah. Those places that recovery really isn't at its fullest. Right.
So it was a little uncomfortable, but the more I came, and I met Stephanie and her husband, which are just the greatest people in the world. They're the way they carry themselves, and the love, I just feel it. That's what I felt.
And a lot of people say that.
That was so attracting to me. But yeah.
You just brought up something really amazing there that I think, you know, it takes a village really to make things happen. It's not just one or two people, but it's the way that Stephanie and Tony present their not only agenda, but their image of what they want the recovery community to really look like and to really give back at, and their heart for it. Like when I first met Stephanie, I said, "You really want to work with heroin addicts?" She says, "Absolutely." I said, "Are you freaking sure?" You know what I mean? Right. She's like, "Absolutely." I'm like, "Okay, I'll ride along." You know what I mean? Like if this is what you want to do, like, you know, me being in recovery, especially from heroin and meth, it's like I am still dumbfounded about where their heart lies.
Right.
What was it? Do you remember the first time you met Stephanie? What was that like?
I believe it was here at the cafe. Or no, we met before. She actually came into the reentry court one month and talked about the cafe.
Oh,
and,
she told me that.
Yeah, and that's when I was really interested. You know, I was like, okay, I'm gonna check this out. And actually, when I was doing the federal thing, the judge there, I told her, or I asked if I could.
Was that Judge Aiken?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
I asked if I could go to Washington, and she said, "Well, if you do, I want you to go to the cafe there, and I want pictures and whatever, and I want you to check it out." So that was part of my trip.
So you went and seen and visited the Recovery Cafe in Seattle?
Yes.
What was that? What was that like?
Well, the day I went was on a Sunday, so part of it was closed, but there was people there, and so I really didn't get to enjoy the whole cafe.
Right.
I went in and talked to a few people, and they invited me to have some coffee, and I think they had some donuts there or something. And, I just went in and chatted with them for a while and took some pictures, and I was all over around the city, so it was actually a quick trip. I wish that I would have got there on regular hours when we were open. But
Man, I don't know if you know this, but if it wasn't for COVID, we'd have been going there already. Like Stephanie and I, we had plans. We were going. But I just really appreciate what the Seattle Recovery Cafe does up there. Killian, I can't wait to meet you if you're watching this. I really, really can't wait to meet you guys. When did you start your recovery?
The first time I got into recovery was in 1997.
Okay.
It was here in Jackson County. And I stayed clean for 8 years, did great. And then I had a great idea.
Well, tell me about your idea.
The idea was that I'd be okay if I smoked marijuana.
Oh.
And I did for 5 years, and then that became other stuff.
Yeah.
And
kind of domino affected.
And then before you knew it, I had not only the use of narcotics, but the criminal thinking. I was doing selling drugs, selling guns, and doing stupid stuff.
What we end up doing once we
Yeah.
get down that dark tunnel, that rabbit hole.
Right. And so 3 years ago, I invited the feds into my life.
Come on in. The water's warm.
And that got me put in jail, and I was looking at like 15 years in prison. And that's when the light bulb went back on about recovery. Because the first time I got in recovery, I was like, hey, all I got to do is stay clean and do good, and I'm good, no matter what.
Next right choice, right?
Yeah, so that's what I did. The day I got arrested, I told myself, that's it, I'm back in recovery.
Full-blown recovery.
Yeah, just in recovery. So for whatever reason, I believe my higher power, God, kept me from going to prison, and then led me back into recovery, led me to the Recovery Cafe, and all the other stuff that I'm doing.
Man, I sure do appreciate you. I want to take a step back, a few steps from what you said. When you started using marijuana, and then it led you to narcotics, and then criminality. Is that something that has always been aligned with you? Is like once you start getting high, criminality happens? Because I feel like for me, I feel like for me, like no matter right when I start using, no matter what drugs I have on me, I'm still more addicted to the criminality, and I think I am the drugs. I think it's for me. Do you find it similar?
Yeah, I grew up in Southern California, and from a very young age, the neighborhood I lived in was ran by the gangs, and so gun fighting and stuff like that was like normal. I think back at all the stuff I did back then, and I think, oh my goodness, I was like crazy off the hook. But when I was doing it, it seemed to me that was just what we did. It was so normal. So I was, yeah, it was just a normal thing.
Criminality is what it is.
Yeah.
When you started just to smoke pot, do you remember when it triggered over to harder stuff? Or was it just like it was?
It was basically what it was in my mind. It was on a Halloween.
Oh wow!
I was at a Halloween party, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna do some ecstasy, and then after that, I said, I'm just gonna do this on them occasions.
On occasion.
So, Halloween, then the next, and I did for a long time.
Right.
I did. You know, and then what happened was I had some dental stuff go on, and I was taking pills, and I never stopped.
Like Vicodin and stuff like that?
Yeah, I never stopped. And then, so the pills became the main drug.
You know, me being a recovering heroin addict, I got to say, you guys, like, this is not the first time I've ever heard this, and it's probably not going to be the last time I've heard this. It started the very same way with me. I had a back problem. I got some lower tabs, and next thing you know, I was on the oxys, and you know, so I'm so glad that you found a way out, because that's such a demon right there. Like, it takes it takes all your happy from you, you know?
Right. I started out just a couple here and there, and when I invited the feds in, I was selling a lot, just
doing dumb shit,
just to so I could always have a pocket full.
Right. Right. Where are you at right now with your recovery? Like, what do you see? What do you enjoy the most about your recovery today?
So, I've said this: as long as I don't break the law and I stay clean, I could do whatever I want. Whatever I want. If I want to go to New York, if I want to go leave the country, if I want to, you know, change job, anything, whatever I want to do, as long as I don't break the law and I don't use drugs.
Yeah.
And, you know, but the best thing is what I found this time around, because it's the second time I've been in recovery, is the service. For me, if I'm not helping serve the community, then I'm going to take from the community. So it is so huge, and I learned this lesson because when I got a 400 hours community service. 400 hours community service.
Holy shit.
And so I started it in Food for Friends.
Okay.
And after going there for a while, I went back to that judge and I said, yeah, the joke's on you. You thought you were giving me something, punishment. And I told her, but I like going there because the people there are nice. And she goes, oh, you thought that I was trying to punish you. I was just trying to change your way of thinking. And I was like,
Wow.
So I met this lady.
That's so cool.
I met this lady. She's 91 years old, and she's been serving our community for 25 years. And so she would come into do her community service, which she doesn't have to, but she just does. And she had a hard time getting out of her car and getting into the building. So my job was, at some point, for whatever, I'd get there early, make sure, and walk her in. So she, and she looked at me one day. She goes, you know, at my age, any help helps, you know. And I thought, man, this lady could having a hard time getting out of her car, but coming in here and serving our community for 25 solid years. And to me, she's a rock star. And that's where my mind was like, I don't know. She inspired me. I want to be like her. You know what I mean?
Bro, I totally just drew a blank right there on questions that I wanted to ask, because, like, how beautiful is that? Like, that's what, first off, thank you for sharing that story, for a few reasons. A, because I believe exactly in what you said, like, give back to a community that you've harmed. Because if you're not giving back, you're continuing to harm it. And what a better way to make an amends with yourself. You know, like, it's not, what we do is not easy by any means, but it feels so much better at night. That's kind of why I get, you know, and to think 91 years old,
right,
getting up extra early, getting down there, and then seeing Stephen J. help her. That's
right.
Like, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like, from her heart that I don't even know, from mine, thank you, bro. Like, that's an amazing testimony. Really.
Yeah, and if you guys want to check out, I did a little story on her on my Facebook page. I think it's about a year old, so you have to scroll down on my Facebook page. And I did a little
Give her a shout out.
Little story. I'm trying to
remember.
Her name just went to. But anyways, if you want to check it out, yeah. She's a great woman.
We might have to update that.
And I really inspire. She really inspired me, and that's where I got the whole. I don't know. It just made sense to me about service, and that I do that, and then I do this thing, Chicago Hope Dealers, which I know a lot of people know.
Hope Dealers.
What we are about there is we do lives, and we help people get into treatment and help them get off the streets, whatever. And it's not just addiction. It's with drugs. We help people with any type of addiction, any kind of problems they're struggling with, and
even homelessness. I've seen.
Yeah, and and I backed off on doing my live since the COVID, and I think I may have done one. I know I did one last month, but some of my friends have been getting at me saying, "Hey, man, what's up?"
The ones in Chicago.
Well, so actually, a friend of mine over in New Zealand has been going, "Hey, man, why aren't you doing?
I need you, bro."
Right. I need to get back into doing lives. And I think the biggest thing, another big thing I've learned in my recovery that I appreciate is, I don't know where or how I heard this or whatever, but I believe that we're so much more than, for the longest time I'd go and, I'm Steve, I'm an addict. And that's kind of how I identified, my life.
I like that.
But today, I'm Stephen J, and I'm in long-term recovery, and I'm so much more than just that. I'm a business owner, I'm a dad, I'm a son, I'm a friend. So that
that
thinking
vision
for me now is, and everybody that's in recovery, we're not just people in recovery.
We're so much more now.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to make a debate about this, and I'm not trying to have a discussion about it, but because I believe all forms of recovery and all pathways to recovery work if you work them.
Right.
Personally, for me, I don't like calling myself an addict.
Right.
Because that's like saying, I don't wake up and I don't think about drugs anymore. I don't live my life around revolving about going to get them. It's just how I am. But what I do call myself is a survivor of addiction. Right. I absolutely was a terrible person when I was on drugs, and I've become so much better than that. I want to be a member of this. I want to be a positive member to my community. I want to be a good member to society, and I want people to remember me as Brandon, the one who tried his ass off to make things right, not Brandon the addict. That's my thing. Period.
I agree 100%.
And it's not, and if you have to stand up and say, my name is so-so and I'm an addict, dude, I will shake your hand and tell you I love you regardless. I have no qualms with that. But personally, for me, that's just how I like to identify, you know? Not to say that because I definitely was a drug addict. I definitely, but I believe that my higher power delivered me from a lot of that,
Right.
But when you are, like I told the viewers, you are a circle leader here.
Yeah.
Why did you want to become a circle leader here at the Recovery Cafe?
Well, when I got in recovery the first time, I did a lot for this community. Mm-hmm. I was a case manager for 8 years at a shelter, and I actually worked at one of the addiction recovery places here. And then, so it's just really service. It's really service. And I don't feel like the circles are not like, oh, we got to go to this group and boom. It's a bunch of guys. We sit around, and if somebody has an issue, we talk about it. If they don't have an issue, we talk about how great the day is or what we're gonna do. Or
it's a level of commitment,
right?
It's look, dude. Like in our recovery, we show up to our appointments today,
right?
And these guys, they need you as much as you need them. I know that from my circle in particular. I need them so much, like right. I let them, like sometimes I'll be like, okay, you guys, and I'll look over whoever's sitting on that chair right there. You're leading the circle today.
Right.
You know, like, because it's not just my circle, it's our circle, you know? And you're right, it's about finding solutions. It's about getting how good you're doing. Let's talk about your goals. How can we, what problems are you having trying to accomplish this goal to get your license?
Right.
And then, you know, when I'm done, I'll head to my computer. Let's see what we could pull up and see what we could do. You know, let's talk about self-care. What have you done for self-care? What do you do for self-care, Stephen J?
Me, I like motorcycles and cars.
I know you do.
So I have that old car that I just love driving around.
31?
I have a couple old cars, but I just love. I actually started going to some car shows, and the last car show I went to, we went to the retirement homes, and it was during this whole lockdown. So these people haven't even been able to have visitors, but when we drove through there. And they were all standing out there, man. It was great. It was great. So we were raising.
And you're going real slow, and you're seeing them at the window, and they're just like kids.
No, they
again.
were actually sitting out. So
oh, really?
Were,
just like kids again, just smiles and gleams.
Yeah. So you know, I like doing that, and that's kind of new for me. The whole car show. I've been to car shows and stuff, but
of course,
now I'm taking vehicles.
You're from Southern California, of course. You've been to car shows.
And yeah, so that's like my main thing I really love doing, and you know what? I love my work. My work is I love doing it. It's exciting, and
right.
I haven't really. I mean, I get to travel, so like if I have to go to the coast, I sometimes I think, man, I really got to go to the coast, and then I get on the road and I'm driving there, and I think how beautiful of a drive it is.
Right.
And then I'm thinking, wow, and I'm getting paid for this.
Right?
What a great
what a life,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So that kind of, it's a question I really like to ask all the guests that I get to have on this show is that in your time in recovery, Stephen J, what is your proudest moment?
Yeah, you know, I was thinking about
when
this.
They do that shit.
I was thinking about this when I was coming over. So about 4 or 5 months back, I was walking out of the church I attend, and people were driving in the car, and they yelled out, "Stephen J, I love you." And I looked over and I thought, wow, who is that? And that made me, I'm telling you what, that was like, it still makes me feel so good. And so about a week later, I came to the cafe and I was bragging about it. I said, yeah, somebody yelled out that they love me out loud in the street. And everybody in the whole, we were all coming out of church or whatever, everybody heard it. And it turned out to be this guy. and I'm not saying this just because it was
right.
you, but I'm telling you what, that was a moment where I was like, it felt really good, because typically me coming out of somewhere, and if somebody's yelling something to me,
it's not I love you.
We're either like taking cover or
right.
you know.
So I just want to tell you, like, I really believe in what you're doing in this community, and I see it firsthand, and I'm a people watcher, and I pay attention. It's something I've been good at since my addiction, because I had trust issues, and now I watch people for other reasons, and when I yelled that out the window, like, I meant it.
Yeah.
You know, like, what you're doing for this community, what you're doing for yourself, what you're doing to, you know, keep your recovery strong and showing up to this place. One day, you guys, we sell t-shirts and swag here, don't worry. We'll have it up soon on the Facebook page and on all the pages, but one day we were running down to about like 5 or 6 shirts, or no, it was like 10 shirts or something like that. We had like 10 shirts left we were trying to sell. This dude takes every one of them, buys every one of them, and hands them out. That's just the type of person you are now. That's why, you know, like if people can't love somebody like that, then they don't know what love is. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that.
And I did that because, you know what? All our members, they deserve it, man. They make this happen.
Yeah, I see them wearing them still,
and,
you know.
Yeah, and I was in the position where I could do that, and
let's get it done, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's because we needed to print up some new ones.
We did. We're getting ready to do that same shit again. So Stephen J, real quick before we end on this, what a great episode this has been. I knew it would be. The way I like to end these is powerful to me, because I've been in the position where maybe just one person is out there struggling. One person doesn't know how to reach out. One person just, their ass is falling off, and they need that little bit of encouragement. If like you had one thing to say to the viewer out there who just needs one thing said to him, what would you say?
Just one thing?
Come on, man.
Okay, so, a lot of times people hear like, you got to work to get this recovery. So if you think about it, the way I look at it now, it's not work. It's simply just loving yourself, doing stuff, and it's just loving yourself. And it's very uncomfortable for people. It was for me. So, I would say, man, grab a hold of somebody that's in recovery and do some suggestions. If you take some suggestions and get out of your comfort zone and just bite your tongue and give it a try.
Yeah.
Because, I can tell you what right now, if I would have continued doing what I was doing, I would either be dead or locked up for a long time. And if I was lucky, I would be locked up. The other alternative is being dead.
Yeah,
and this is so much better.
Yeah, no, you're right, and there's a lot of validity to what he said. It's, if you think that your life is tough right now, and if you think that getting recovery is tough, look at your life right now, you guys. Like, you guys are on a 365, 7-day-a-week, 24-hour job that doesn't pay well. You don't get vacation time, and you don't get paid time off unless you go to county jail. Jails and institutions of death. In recovery today, my problems are wonderful, and I'll take them on any day.
Yeah.
So reach out. We're here for you. I won't give up on you. I make that my life's goal. Stephanie won't give up on you. Stephen J won't give up on you. Tony Mendenhall won't give up on you. My wife won't give up. We will not give up. We love you.
Right.
And
anybody could contact me through Facebook. My Facebook is Stephen J, and I always have my phone on.
Yeah, he's on my friends list. Find him.
More than welcome to friend me and get at me anytime.
Amen. Same here, you guys. Stephen J, Brandon Orr, Reclaiming Lives Recovery Cafe, downtown Medford, 541-890-0590. If you need me, I'll answer. Love you guys. God bless.
Peace.
Thank you.